So Miss Rachel is, I would say she's like the Michael Jackson of toddlers, or not Michael Jackson of toddlers. She's not a toddler herself, but she's like Michael Jackson to toddlers, right? What Michael Jackson means to those who grew up in the 80s and the 90s, minus the allegations, that's who Miss Rachel is. She is a superstar among superstars. And unfortunately, she's caught herself in a bit of a bind, I would say. You know, recently there was a video of her that was going viral, of course, as everything she does goes viral, of her with a pro-Palestine, dare I say, Hamas sympathizer. Best way I can put that, because that's what he was. And she basically had to kind of redact that entire situation after she got the backlash, the appropriate backlash, after featuring this man. You know, she's speaking to toddlers, little ones, supposed to be teaching them. And instead, she is politicizing her platform, pushing terrorists, or at least sympathizers of terrorists. So, you know, I thought that was going to be the last of it. She came out, I guess, gave an apology, whatever it is. But now we got this surfacing, which is basically Miss Rachel has been pushing a damn hoax. And I'm not saying she's doing so intentionally. I think she's like most people in the Western world who just kind of want to go along with whatever narrative is going to make them look the best. Not the one that's true, but the one that's going to make people see them as compassionate, sympathetic, whatever it may be. Right? As an old statement or old quote goes, what is it? If you believe in socialism while you're in your 20s, you know, you're considered compassionate. If you believe it in your 30s, then you're a fool. So we're going to get into this video. I have not watched it yet, so I'm going to be watching this, reacting in real time with you guys. So yeah, whatever comes with it, comes with it. But essentially, you know, the return of Miss Rachel. Hopefully this doesn't get flagged. I don't know if her content is, you know, copywritten or whatever it is. So just in case, if this video goes down or whatever happens, I will look for a way to re-upload it with some edits in it.
I want you to meet an amazing friend of mine.
هاي أنا ريناد عمري 11 سنة وأنا حاليا عايشة في غزة.
Renard, tell me about your dream.
حلم أي طفل بغزة وعايش.
Okay, I cannot read that. My dream. Okay, so essentially this is a video of a young girl who is supposedly starving in Gaza, right? If she is being starved, then, you know, it's thanks to Hamas and some of the adults around her who somehow are not starving, right? The babies are starving, but the mothers and the fathers are sometimes, dare I say, obese. But anyway, it turns out that this little girl actually has her own little, maybe social media situation where she shares her experiences with food. So there's that.
بالحرب إنه ينام ما يخافش إنه يصحى على صوت قصر ينام.
So as you see on the right, there is, you know, they're playing simultaneously her videos with, like, it's like, I don't know, it's like maybe a food channel, which is deeply ironic, right? This little Gazan girl who is being featured by Miss Rachel due to her starvation is running a food channel on social media. Anyway.
ما يخافش إنه يصحى ويلاقي حدا من عيلته فاقده يصحى ويلاقي أكل ياكله مش يصحى هو ميت من الجوع.
Renard, you and the children of Gaza don't deserve to live like this. You deserve to have everything that other children around the world have. I am so sorry that the world has failed the children of Gaza. You should be in school, learning and laughing and playing with your friends and experimenting with new recipes. Many people are behind you. I want you to meet an amazing friend of mine.
هاي أنا ريناد عمري 11 سنة وأنا حاليا.
Are they just going to continue replaying this? Shout out to Gaza Wood, by the way. Yeah, they're going to continue playing it. Okay, so that means I'm going to just read out what the little girl actually said. So, I'm currently living in Gaza.
Tell me about your dream.
My dream and the dream of many children living in Gaza in
the war
is to sleep and not be afraid to wake up to the sound of, what is that? God, what is that word right there? I'm just going to say, you know, attacks.
ينام ما يخافش إنه يصحى على صوت قصر ينام.
My goodness. Look at those tiny little words right there. Let's see if I can. Scared to sleep and to wake up and death of members of my family. Well, you got Hamas to thank for that. I would ask the folks on October 7th what it was like to wake up to that. And again, I don't wish this on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on Hamas if they weren't Hamas. If you catch what I'm throwing.
ما يخافش إنه يصحى ويلاقي حدا من عيلته فاقده. يصحى.
To wake up and find food to eat and not to make or not to have to die, or what is that? Wake up dying of hunger. Interesting.
يلاقي أكل ياكله مش يصحى هو ميت من الجوع.
Bernard, you and the children of Gaza don't.
Okay. So to sum it up, she wishes she didn't have to wake up to war. Hamas wishes she didn't have to starve and essentially die of hunger. Hamas. But, turns out that in this video, this expose was that she seems to be doing quite all right when it comes to the food department. Now, again, the reason I decided to kind of highlight this one separately from the other videos, speaking of the so-called starvation campaign taking place in Gaza, is because Miss Rachel, and let me actually check on this to see how large her following is at this point. Miss Rachel is reaching how many people? I'm sure my folks of the youngsters can tell me. She's got 16 million subs. The average video has 55 million views, 79 million, 141 million views, 209 million, 61 million, 179 million, 130 million views. With the capital M on it. Let's see what has the most. She has a video with 1.5 billion views, guys. So safe to say she is reaching hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds of millions of parents are sitting there listening to Miss Rachel with their little ones, hearing that the children in Gaza are being starved and it is being essentially blamed on Israel. She is helping to push a blood libel. Simply put, Miss Rachel is pushing the very same propaganda that all of the mainstream propaganda machine is pushing. CNN, BBC, MSDNC, and the rest, who have been debunked over and over again for lying. She is pushing that message now, not to, your grandma, still on that couch watching MSDNC, rotting her brain away, but now to a 1, 2, and a 3-year-old. They're already having opinions formed. And some folks think, well, kids don't remember. Try from the ages 0 to 7 is the most susceptible you will ever be when it comes to information. That is when propaganda is the most powerful. Upwards to the age of 7, you will be informing what becomes your personality. For some people, for the rest of their lives, if they don't check it and don't rehabilitate themselves, don't renew their thought process and belief systems and things of that nature, they will likely hold on to the very same temperaments. From 0 to 7. Miss Rachel has your child from 0 to 7. I don't know if she's, making content for the 7-year-olds. I'm not sure. I don't watch her personally. But what I do know is that she is influencing an entire generation. There needs to be responsibility for every single one of these people. I don't give a damn if you're Mr. or Mrs. Rachel. I don't give a damn if you are Hezbollah or Miss Rachel. Everybody needs to be held responsible for the decisions that they're making, what they're putting out into the world, the lies that they're pushing. And this is the unfortunate part about good intentions. As they say, good intentions can be the gateway or lead directly to hell. You could really have a good heart and want to do the right thing. But if you are pushing a lie, if you're misinformed, and I do not want to assume this about Miss Rachel because a lot of folks out there will feel some type of way. But if she knows better and she's still speaking in opposition because she wants to be in the sort of popular zeitgeist of the time, she wants to be in good with the masses, or at least what is presented to be the masses, that is despicable. Like, if you know, that's the thing with me. There's some people out there who actually know, but they realize that, well, it's not really the popular conversation to have, is to say that it's not actually the Jew, right? But instead the people who are looking to completely eradicate them. It's not the popular opinion to say that many of these so-called, Palestinian advocates are actually disguised schmazis. Your modern day neo-schmazi, right? Trying to eradicate and ethnically cleanse an entire group and then blaming that very same group for doing that to them. That many of the people in Palestine, quote unquote Palestine, stand behind Hamas. They believe them to be their voice, their advocates, those who are doing their bidding. Will Miss Rachel share any of that in her next episodes? Will she display a young man who was asked to dig his own literal grave as he starves away, nothing but flesh and bones? Will she put that on her next video? Will she show any of the children that were massacred for nothing? No, because the virtue signal is in, well, what about the Gazan babies? And to that I say, you're right on point. Now let's talk about why those babies are in that situation. Let's have the honest conversation. You care so much about the children. Let's talk about why these children are suffering. Let's be honest about it. Because if we're not willing to go there again, all you're doing is spreading a lie, a dangerous lie, even if you believe yourself to be righteous, holier than thou, a voice for the children, to the children. You care so much about the little ones. You're not doing them any service by leading them down to hell with you, basically. Because again, there will be blood on the hands of those who continue to perpetuate the lie. In the same way in 1933 to 1947, there was blood on hands of those who believed themselves to not only be innocent, but be in the right. They believed themselves to be on the right side of history. It's going to be the same situation. And the reason I'm so confident about this is because I know there are many things in this life I don't know for a fact. I don't know. I don't know if the French president is married to a dude or not. I don't know that. I'm sure the evidence will present exactly what that is, but I don't know. I don't know who was fully responsible for September the 11th. I don't know. I could assume that there were, different parties who might have been invested. I can assume that, but I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you that. But I know for a fact that there was an attack on October 7th, 2023. And I know who did it, and I know why they did it. How do I know that? Because they told us. They told us. They continue to tell us. They tell us. They tell us in their own parliament when they yell out death to America. They tell us what they're about. They tell us why they're doing what they're doing. They tell us their game plan. They're not secretive about it. So yeah, Miss Rachel, once we're able to get into that conversation, then, we can really talk. And I've seen that she hasn't posted a video in some months. Maybe she doesn't need to. I mean, shoot, look at this. Well, she was doing one video a month. It looks like 11 months ago, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay. And then 5, 4, 3 was gone. And then 2 months ago, she put out a video. Maybe she's living life. She's doing her thing. Potty training video. Let's just make sure not to feature ISIS or Hezbollah in that one. Let's just do that. That would be helpful. But, I wish her the best. I wish everybody else the best. We all should have the opportunity to learn, to grow, to understand, to realize, right? I'm not looking to make people enemies, but there are those who have already chosen a side, and they've chosen the side of unfortunately, their anger, their hatred, right? Their scapegoating, their conspiracy, whatever it may be, whatever the reasoning may be, they've chosen their side. And so to y'all, I say, look, you cannot be lukewarm. You can be on either side, but just don't be lukewarm. You can be cold, freezing cold. I'll respect that. I'll respect it. I'll still call it out for what it is, but I'll respect it. But you just can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because then you've already made a decision that you're not willing to stand up for what is right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where?
I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, you. Staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, you. I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind. I've been getting visions of the other kind. Yeah, I've been up for weeks. I'm in the count of blessings over count of sheep. I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me. I used to be the pleaser for the people.